Right, little update. Rained off today, so and my van motor is broken again. My starter motor on my van, which I ordered a remanufactured one, has failed after 1 week, and the person I bought it off, obviously I bought it in August and it sat around for a while. I fitted it last week and now the van doesn't start at all. So I've bench tested it and it seems alright. And he said, well, we bench test them and they seem alright. And so, well, I've bench tested it as well and it seems alright, but when it's bolted onto my van, it doesn't work. And now it doesn't start at all. So that's, as a consequence, I can't go to work again today. My car's still off the road. The weather's too bad to do any work on it, either of the vehicles really today. So anyway, here I am. So what I'm trying to do is come up with a solution for the steering on this vehicle, which is going to allow for quite a lot of suspension movement and eliminate bump steer. So the solution that I can think of to mount the servo like this, and then have a shaft that comes forward through all the linkages and comes down to a bracket on the axle around here, fixed on the axle, which holds this end of the shaft above the drag link with a servo horn sort of arrangement going down to the drag link. And obviously this will have to articulate this shaft, so I've got this broken half shaft from the front of this axle, and I've got a piece of, I think it's 10mm stock bar. I've drilled a hole in the end and I'm going to put that inside there like that. That's a 2mm hole. Drill a 2mm hole through there all the way through, and then weld that, cut the end off that, weld that to a piece of sheet steel that I can put a couple of holes in that will screw into those holes on the servo horn. So I'll be able to fix that onto the servo and then fix that on to there, so it's in line with the spindle on the servo, so it'll turn like that, and then that will give some freedom of movement for that shaft. So that's what I'm planning. And all of this is sort of a prototype, proof of concept basically, and it will work. It just needs to be made better. So I've got a flexible drive shaft with a universal joints, a piece of seamless tube which is 11mm internal diameter with some 5mm rod. I've made a little servo arm which is L-shaped in order to clear around that upper link there, which you can't really see at the minute. And I've got waiting for delivery of a servo coupler, which is a brass servo horn, but instead of a horn it's just a female. It goes to like a female 1/4 inch. I'm waiting for a servo coupler to arrive. I might just this video off because it's me off fucking noise from that thing and the rain and the fact that it's all shit looks like and it doesn't actually work. Beautiful. So that is a piece of 1/4 inch bar. I've turned that down, the one end of it, to 5mm, so it goes inside that drive shaft. I drilled a hole through there. Then at the other end there's a piece of 5mm bar with a hole drilled in this end. That's going through this pipe, which is seamless tube with 11mm internal diameter. It turns out to be just over 11mm, but that's okay. There's 3 roller bearings in there. So this tube is going to be fixed to the axle there, and then that just goes down to a little rod there. For penny in for a pound, as they say. Hopefully I'll pick that up now without burning my fingers. Yeah. Oh, it's not too bad, look. Turned out alright. Final piece of the puzzle has arrived for this little sub project. This brass coupler, which is 1/4 inch on this side and 25 tooth spline on that side. Right, we're finally getting there now. A couple of issues have come up in the last day or two. Broke another CVD on the front. Basically I ran it up in high gear and stupidly my hand went underneath one of the tyres, this tyre, and that stopped the tyre and it just snapped the end of the CVD. It was going flat out, to be honest. The tyres sort of balloon out. And then another thing is this rear height servo, suspension servo, has failed, or it looks like it's, some of the teeth have come off one of the gears inside, so it does sort of work, but when it gets to a certain angle it sort of jumps. So, but it'll be alright for now. Anyway, the steering is working really nicely. I mean, I need to turn it down a little bit. But it's working perfectly. I'm really happy with that. I mean, there's virtually no play in any of it either, which is super. What is that play there? That is... looks like that's caused by the bearings shifting around inside that casing there. Another thing was, I bought these little bearing block things, so I was thinking I could use instead of that, but they didn't come in time, so I'll keep those for future things possibly. But yeah, as you can see, I can raise and lower this up and down now, and it's got 0 bumps here, which is really good. Apologies for my croakiness, by the way. I've got the lurgy. So now it's time to
take it out for a little bit of a test drive and see how it drives. Very carefully. Another CVD broken.